Hello guys, and welcome to the third episode of the 12 Games of Switchmas, and today I will be looking at the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC, the Booster Course Pass, and I know I've had some videos talking about this recently, but I'm gonna kind of give a brief overview for this series and everything. I know this is DLC, not a game, and this series is mostly covering games that release throughout the year, but the Booster Course Pass is a major release, and sometimes I tend to include DLCs in these 12 Games of Switchmas series, so I'm including it here. But basically, I've had some mixed opinions on this at first, and I was actually kind of negative about this at first, because it seemed like the first wave was rushed, it had some problems, but now I'm leaning more positive on this, even though I still am critical of some aspects of the Booster Course Pass. So that's kind of why it's ranked a little lower, and also the fact that it's DLC makes it a little lower on the ranking as well. But overall, I think the quality has been improving. So basically, Wave 1, it had a lot of problems, especially looking at Toad Circuit. Like, there were barely any textures that were actually, like, detailed there. It took a couple updates, or at least an update, for them to actually, like, fix a lot of the problems that this had. Like, it seemed like there were a lot of solid colors, like for the grass and different things, and as well as on other courses as well. And then the cars didn't even move on Coconut Mall in the parking lot, like, until the update. Like, they were just stationary there, which was weird, because in Mario Kart 4, they actually moved as they did in Wii. So it's kind of weird that they just had them in place. Like, I feel like it's probably because it was rushed. Like, they eventually did add them moving in some capacity. I mean, it would be nice if, like, another update actually made them move fully. But it's weird. It definitely seems like they were rushing the first wave. Like, it seems like they were trying to get it out by a certain time, like to fulfill, like, a direct announcement and, like, another thing, a part of the Booster Course Pass and everything. Because I think it even, like, looking back, like, when we got the first trailer and then the release of the DLC, there were actually, like, a bunch of changes between that trailer and the final release of the Wave 1. So I feel like it was definitely rushed, and they were definitely, like, fixing and changing a lot of things right before it released. But now they're even fixing, like, Wave 1, like, in updates, like, they're actually adding in better textures and, like, different things like that. It seems like they're fixing what they didn't do before, which is kind of weird. But the good thing about the Booster Course Pass is that Wave 2 and now Wave 3 were a lot better. Like, Wave 2 had a lot of great courses, and it was definitely a better selection than Wave 1, and the courses themselves also looked a lot better too, like looking at Snowland, which I didn't expect to be so good actually. Like, I was expecting that to be more of a boring track, but that was actually pretty fun. That looks like well adapted to the Mario Kart 8 art style, as well as Waluigi Pinball, which is a classic and everything. And there were a couple iffy ones in Wave 2, like Mario Circuit 3, and I guess Sky High Sunday. I like that one, but there were some problems with it. But Wave 2, generally a big improvement from Wave 1, even though it still had some issues. Like, just overall, it definitely did feel like they were putting more care into the textures, the minor details, and different things like that, but there were still some cracks showing, and it still wasn't, like, fully realized, I guess. It still kind of seemed like they were putting the tour tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, there was another issue. On Sydney Sprint, there was also, like, the 2D textures that were way too close to the track, which was weird. It looked like Paper Mario. That was another... I mean, that track was pretty well optimized overall, except for that. So there were a few cracks showing in Wave 2, but it was overall a pretty big improvement from Wave 1, and it didn't really have as many problems, and it seemed like more polished overall. But Wave 3 is releasing in a couple days, and that seems to be even an improvement over Wave 2. Because it seems like a lot of these courses they're showing look to be almost on par with some of the tracks in Mario Kart 8. Not exactly, but I do feel like they fit the style well. I don't really expect them to look exactly like they do in Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I feel like just with all of the tracks that we're getting, I think it's kind of unrealistic to expect them to look exactly like the base game tracks, but having them so they at least fit in with like the other tracks and they don't look like tour tracks, I think that's good enough. I think that's a major improvement. Like the textures are detailed. It looks like it actually belongs in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Except for like maybe Rock Mountain, that still looks a bit weird. But the thing about that track is that unlike Mario Circuit 3 and Toad Circuit, it's actually a fun track. Like both in Mario Kart 7 and Tour, that was a pretty fun track. So yeah, despite like the fact that it kind of looks off and kind of looks like Tour, that track is still fun. Like the weakest track is still fun, which is a pretty good sign here. Like a lot of the other tracks look great. Like we got Maple Treeway, 3DS Rainbow Road, a lot of great tracks here, and I'm really looking forward to playing this. And it definitely seems like a big step up from Wave 2. But one more problem associated with this, the fact that it kind of replaced a new Mario Kart game, which is disappointing since we've been waiting almost 9 years for a new game, not counting Mario Kart Tour since that's a mobile game. And also the fact that we didn't get anything else, like no new characters or carts. I know it's called the Booster Course Pass, but it would have been nice if the DLC was all encompassing and it included like more things, like characters like Pauline, Funky Kong, Petey Piranha, Kamek would be really cool to see in a deluxe. So it's kind of a missed opportunity that they didn't do that. But anyways, those are my thoughts on the Booster Course Pass overall. So anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more. And make sure to check out my Discord server and Twitter if you want to. Goodbye.